So a dialog box is a small window that prompts the user to make a decision. So these windows that pop up to ask the user to take an action, they are the one that we call dialog boxes. I believe you've seen some of those ones. For example, when you're selecting the date, or when you're being asked a question like, are you sure you want to do anything? We always get what we call dialog boxes. So those dialog boxes will be just like another interface or another window that will come on top of the main window, and you cannot interact with the window in the background if the dialog box is on top there. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do these dialog boxes. So there is a main class called dialog, and within sometimes we use a subclass of alert dialog. So in this video, we're going to see how we can do different dialog boxes. So I'm going to start here a simple project. I'm going to zoom so you can see clearly, and I'll split it here, and I'm going to change this one to linear layout, and I'll put orientation to vertical. Okay, so I'm going to put here some buttons that will be clicking on, and then we launch different types of dialog boxes. I've already prepared another project where I did these dialog boxes, and without I will use it to avoid wastage of time. So I have different topics here. Right now I'm going to cover the dialog boxes. So I'll begin with the basic one, or a simple one, whereby we're going to look at how we can create a confirm dialog box. So I'll just simply copy this button, or I'll just create a button, okay? So I'll just simply say button match parent wrap content, and then I'll give it an ID of confirm dialog, and give text of confirm dialog. Okay, so I'm going to create a dialog that will ask a user to confirm a certain action. So after doing that, let me put here maybe some padding left, maybe padding of maybe 16 dp. Then after, I'm going to create I'm going to create a button that is going to listen to this one. So by simply coming here, just say button, and then you give it dialog, and then after on create method, you can put here a function that will bind views. Members, if you don't understand, you just ask. I'll be able to respond to you and help you. Okay, bind views, that's a function. Just press Alt and Enter to create it. I'll then say confirm dialog is equal to find view by by id r.id .id dot. Are we together, members? Are we together?
Yes.
You understanding, right?
Yes.
Good. So after, I'm going to put a listener to this one by simply saying .set on click listener, new on click listener, and then
Can you change
that?
the viewing, like it's kind of still small.
The screen is too small, is too big?
Yeah. It's too small.
It's too big. That's why
it's too big then.
You cannot see it on your small screen.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put back to my small screen. What about there?
What is that? Yeah, this
now better.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do what? To call a function that will show a basic dialog. So to do that, I'm going to create a function just that will show a basic dialog. Okay? Here, I'm going to call this function. So this is just my custom function. I'm just saying show confirm dialog. Okay? So I'll create this function here. See? And here I'm going to now create a function that will create that dialog and show it, the confirm dialog. So to create a dialog, first of all, you need a dialog builder. Okay? So to create a dialog, you simply say dialog dot alert dialog. It's supposed to be alert dialog dot builder. Okay, so this is inbuilt class inside the alert dialog. Okay, and then I can call it builder. Okay, then I'll initialize it by simply saying new is equal to new alert dialog builder, and here to take the context. Okay, it will take the context. So since we're in the main activity, we can just simply pass this. Then I've created a what? A builder. Husna, do you understand? Husnata, try to be attentive, please. Are you understanding? Okay, so after setting the builder, you do what? You set the title. Okay, you set the title. For example, I can add like builder and I say dot set title like this. You see, set title. Then this is going to be the title of the alert. For example, I can say, are you sure you want to delete this maybe contact? Okay, so there it will show that as a what? As a text. Then I can add also a message in case I want to add any message like explanation. So I can add a message by simply saying builder. Remember, we first created this builder here. Dot what? Dot set message and say you cannot maybe cannot reverse this deletion. Okay, I can say this, I can say warning, this contact will be deleted forever. And then I have to say colon. So there you understand, right? So after setting what? Setting the message and the title, then I can go ahead and set the buttons. So this alert dialog will have two main buttons. The first button is the positive button. So the positive button is the one that will be shown like in case the user accepts, and the negative button is the one that will be shown for the user to cancel. So I just say builder dot set positive button. So this positive button takes two things. The first thing is takes the text, okay, and the second thing it takes the what? It takes the listener. So this text, the text that will appear in that button. So for example, I can say delete. So here you can put any text that you want to appear for the user to confirm that he wants to perform this particular action for this prompt dialog. So if maybe you want to put it in your own language, you can put there any word in your own language. So I can then add a listener now. So to add a listener, this will be the listener that it will be executed in case the user clicks on this confirm button. So we'll simply say new on what? On click. Okay, so just say dialog. Okay, say just dialog interface. That in case it does not suggest, I want to show you that in case it does not interface like this, dialog interface. So you from that dialog interface, then you put dot set. Just say dot on click listener dot on click listener. Okay, so you add there on click listener and then press enter. So just simply say new on click listener. It will automatically suggest for you everything. You just put dialog interface dot on click listener, and then it will override the on click in this dialog on click listener. So this on click listener, it will be called when the user clicks on delete. On the positive button. So let me create here a toast by saying use like I just say deleting. Okay, deleting. So here it is when you can call now the action in case the user does what? In case the user confirms, then you can call a method or anything that you want to do in case the user clicks on what? On OK. Okay, so here you can call a method, you can call anything, you can perform any action in case the user confirms. Members, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Then I can set now the negative click listener dot set negative button. I set the negative button. So it will also take two things. To take the text that should be shown the negative button. So you can say maybe cancel, or I can say quit. Okay, cancel. So that's the spelling of cancel. Cancel like this, right? And then after we pass what should be executed. So if you want, listen members, if you also want to listen to the negative click listener, like in case the user cancels, you want to know that the user has cancelled, you can as well add here the negative click listener just by using the same on dialog interface click listener, just on dialog interface click listener. But here, since we don't want to care about the cancelling, we can as well pass null. So it means that nothing will happen if the user cancels. So after creating the dialog, after building the dialog, as you have seen, then you are now ready to do what? To show this dialog. So to say the dialog, just put the dialog dot the builder dot what? Dot show. And then this dialog that we have just built here, it will be shown. Okay? So I hope everything is straightforward. Now let us run it and we see what we'll get. So there is our application. I'm going to click now on what? On confirm dialog. So when I click on confirm dialog, can you see that what comes? Members, can you see that? Are you sure you want to delete? Yeah, that's great. Are you sure you want to delete this contact? And then here is the message. And if I click on delete, you'll see the toast will come deleting. So here in the deleting toast, you can put there a method that you want to call in case someone clicks on OK. And if someone says cancel, you see the cancel is here in the negative button. So if you say cancel, nothing will happen. Why? Because we passed null. Any question here?
No, so we can use this dialog box and the circular view examples that we did about deleting,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, 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 yes. That can be good. It's very good to relate like that. Yeah, like in case there is someone said I want to delete, you first ask them. So if they say delete, then you do what? You call the function for deleting. If you say cancel, you don't do anything. So instead of calling delete directly, you can call this dialog first. That's a very good way of relating things. I like it. Yeah, that's how you learn, by relating, like, how can I use this? I'm so happy to see that you can do that. When you see something, just think, how can you use it? Otherwise, if you don't think, then they'll remain in class. Anything that I teach you, just think, how can I use this? How can I use this? Otherwise, if you don't think like how can I use it, then you'll not do anything. You'll not do anything. I am so happy you can relate like that. Keep it up. So we are going to something else. That's just a simple dialogue. Let us look at another dialogue. I prepared some here. Let us look at the alert dialogue. Alert dialogue, it will just show you. It's just the same step, but it will just show you the alert only. It will not give this cancel button. So let me create one here. So I'm going to call it what? Alert dialogue. Just alert. You know the meaning of alert. This was confirm. It asks you to confirm something, but alert, it will just make you know that hey, something is happening. Okay. So I can create that button. I can bind it from here. Okay. I can duplicate this click listener by simply selecting, I said press Ctrl D, and then I paste here, and then I can click here, maybe show, not confirm, but here I'm going to call it what? Show alert dialog. So I'm going to create this method here. So we have here the alert dialog. Okay. So after, I'm going to create my builder. It is just the same way how I create the builder here. Show you. It's just the same way. You create the builder, you set the what? The title. But you know the meaning of alert, okay? It's just to let the user know what is going on, okay? So here, I just say alert dialog builder is equal to alert dialog builder dot this. I give it the context. I just say the title. I discard the draft, okay? And then I can say I set the positive button. For example, I can say these days when you're trying to edit something, like for example on in WordPress, on Facebook, when you want to leave, they ask you that, are you sure you want to quit? Then someone can confirm on what. Okay. For example, I can say, are you sure? Like I said, do you want to close this app? So maybe the user is pressing the back button, and we reach the last activity, and instead of letting the user to quit without them to confirm, I can first ask them if they really want to close this app. So I can now set that as a title, and then I set the positive button. Okay, so the positive button will be set in exactly like the way we did to the other. So I can say maybe, do you really want to close this app? And then I pass here like close, and here I say if we close, then I can say toast. I can put here closing app. Okay, so there I can call any method that you want to do, maybe when the user is closing, and then I'll pass the next thing to be what? To be null. The next cancel to be null. So that's just a simple alert. Simple alert will not have too much explanation. And I pass null, and then I then pass the what? I then pass the dot show, or I call show to do what? To display. So let us run the application again. Now this is our alert dialog. So let me click on alert dialog to just simply show that message. You see, this one is having explanation that explain, but this one is just a simple one to ask the user, do you want to close this app? Then he can say close, and then you can see we are closing the app. We can ask cancel. You can do what? You can cancel the app. So that's how, those are simple ways on how you can implement these alert dialogues. Like the user will not do anything more unless he do what? He confirms. So another thing, we are going to look at we still have more in dialogue. Let us look at the one which you have selection. So look at this one. It's very important. So I'm going to create an alert dialog that will have a single selection. Okay. So I'll just simply put here alert dialog, and I put single selection icon. So just put here single selection. Single selection dialog, okay? Okay, so after I'll go and create a button and call it so this is a dialog when you're going to prompt the user to select something from a list. Okay, so we set there the click listener on this single selection, and then we call show the what? Show single selection dialog. Okay, I just create here show single selection. I press Alt and Enter to create this method in the main, and then after I will go ahead and create a list. The first thing that you do, you create a list from where the user should select from. It can be just any kind of list. So I'll just okay, let me create the list by myself. For example, here we said it's going to be just a list of what? Of ringtone. So you can just create here static string. So in Java, to create a string, to create an array, just put this. Remember, there's a difference between list and an array. So you just put the what? Those brackets, and then you'll be able to do what? To create an array. So maybe let us say departments equals, and then I do what? I suggest the what? The department. So it's just simply put new, and then I can put new string. Oh, I can just simply put like this. I think it's also work like this. Put a semicolon here last. Okay, so put CSC. Put here MTE. I'll input maybe language. Languages. So that's our list of what? Of languages. Okay, so you can put CSC. No. PHP, CSS, HTML, and Java. Let me put the last one and what? And Python. Okay, so we're going to create a list that will going to ask a user to select one of these items. So we can simply create maybe a current list, a current selected item. Then I can say current item. Of course, since the list of string, then it should also be what? A string here. Okay, so I put here string. Current item equals nothing. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say current item. So when you're creating a list, I'm going to initialize the current item to be the item in position 0. So to do that, I will simply say languages, and then I initialize the one in position what? In position 0. So I mean that the default one is the one which is in position 0, the one which is selected. But it is optional. You can as well leave without specifying which one is the default. So after doing that, we'll have to do what? To set the alert dialog, okay? To create the alert dialog. So we'll use the same method, like alert dialog, like the way you did before. Alert dialog builder, and then you also pass here is equal to new alert dialog builder and give it what? And give it context. And after, then we say the title. And by simply saying builder dot what? Dot set title. And then I can say select your department. Okay. Then after doing that, then we have to set this list. Okay. We have to set the what? We have to set the list. So set the list, just simply say the builder dot set single choice item. Single choice what? Single choice items. So you just simply say builder dot set. You see? Dot set. Now you see when you say dot set, you can even get idea of other things that you can do. You have adapter, you have console, you have cancelable, you have icon, you can even set an icon, all those things you can do them. Okay? So but what I want to do is just select set single choice items. Okay, so these single choice items, it will take different things. It will take the position where of the current item where it is selected. Then to take the item that is checked, and also the what? The on the click listener. Okay, first of all, to take the list of items. Okay, the list of items, remember we called it what? We called it languages. So I'll pass here languages. The second one, it will take which item is selected at this moment. So you see here, I made this item 0 to be selected. Okay, to be selected. So it means that it is item 0 that is selected. So I can pass here the item in position 0. And then after we do what? We add the listener. Like when someone selects an item, what should we do? So that's the listener that we create here. Just put in capital letter and write the word on. And then put small letter. And then put click listener. Then this one will suggest for you the click listener. So put there new on dialog interface click dot on click listener. This first one. Okay. Then press enter if it comes. If it doesn't come, then you'll have to write it manually, like the way it is here. So after suggesting, now I want to tell what has been selected. So if you want to do an action, you see, if you want to do an action when the user selects immediately, maybe when the user selects, you want to do an action immediately. So you can do that action from this point, because this one will be called when the user selects. So let me update this one, that the current item that is being selected is equal to. So here they'll give you the position of the item that has been selected, which is going to be in what? In languages, and then you pass that item I. Okay. So here they tell us what has been selected. So if you want to do anything, just when the user selected something, you can do it from here. Maybe you want to restrict the user, you want to do something like that, you can do all those processes from here. So after doing that, you can now go ahead and set now the what? The buttons, okay? Like when the user will click OK. Of course, the user will have to select and then later click on OK. So you just put like the button that we were doing before, builder dot set what? Dot set button. Dot set positive button. So this positive button, the first thing it takes is the text that should be shown. For example, I can say OK, and then the next thing that it takes, it is the click listener. So it should be just like new on click listener. Okay. Then here I will have known because this guy will have selected from here. Then I can toast. Okay, that you selected, and then let me put here the item that's selected, which is I have updated here. Remember, when you select, I update it immediately. So I can put here plus that. Let me make it a little bit long. Okay, okay, let me leave it short. Okay, so that's how we create a what? A selection. Then after we add the negative button if you want. Okay, and the negative button, remember, it just does what? It just tells null. It just takes null instead of a listener. Okay, so I'll just simply come here and say dot set what? Negative button. So this is just a simple negative button. It's just a builder dot set negative button. You pass cancel and what? And a null, in case you don't want to listen to this negative. But in some application, you may want to listen, like when someone cancels, you may want to know, so you can add that listener from here, exact listener, like that one that we add here in the click listener. Then after, we'll have to show the what? The confusion. So we have to show the dialog, which is builder.what.show dialog. I think I already put it. Builder.what.show. So this one will also help us to do what? To cancel the dialog. So let us run the list. Let us run the project and see what we'll get. After around 20 minutes of loss, but it's part of the journey. So this is the application. We're looking at what? At a list. So if I click here, you see we get a what? Is it working though? Okay, the dialog is working. So maybe you did not listen to this. Let us see what is missing. So we are having this show dialog. Okay, you see the problem? We are not clicking, we are not showing. We are not showing the dialog. We built it, but we did not do what? We did not show. So we have to do what? Dot show. Dot show, like this. So we run it again. You have to show it. Otherwise, building it without showing, it will not display, as you've seen. So at the end, you have to show. Together? So there it is. I click on what? On select, single selection, you see? Select your what? Your department. Select your language, okay? So if I select CSC, HTML, now when I click on a particular select, this method is being called, okay? This one is being called. So if I want to execute something when someone selects, I can execute it from here automatically. But if I want to execute when he clicks OK, then I can execute it from here. So you see, after selecting maybe CSS and I say OK, then you can see you selected CSS. Is it clear? Do you understand?
Yes.
Very good. So those are dialogues. There's another one, but multiple selection. That one you try it by yourself. Search about multiple selection, whereby I can launch here and I select more than one. Maybe this PHP and HTML and CSS. I should be able to select more than one. Try that, and then when you click OK, it should show those that you've selected. Do that by yourself, okay? Do that by yourself. How to make multiple selection dialog. So that will be a homework. So I'll start sharing this code soon. I'll start sharing this code. So I don't know about time. You have to look at also the custom dialog. So a custom dialog is the one that will enable us to put anything in our own dialog box. Okay, so let me do it faster. I wanted us to look at bottom sheets today, but it's like time will not allow. So I have already pre-recorded video I'll share with you, and you'll see them by yourself. And I'm going to start also the series of videos of user interfaces, so you can follow along to do also bottom sheet. Yeah, it's also a very important user interface. So I'm going to create a custom dialog now. I want a custom dialog. A custom dialog is the one that we define our own rules. What should appear in our custom dialog. I mean, what should appear in the dialog. So I'm going to just call it custom dialog. Okay, where you customize the user interface of a dialog. Okay, custom dialog like this. Okay, so on this side I'll come and create a button. There's button here, and then I'll come and find it by simply saying find view by ID, and then I set a what? I set like this, and then I can say here show custom. Musa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're now okay. We're still sick.
I'm not sick actually.
You've never been sick?
Yeah, I was.
You're now okay.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, it's beautiful. So I have prepared some custom dialog here. So for custom dialog, we simply need our own layout. Okay, we need our what? Our own layout, and these are the rules that we're going to do the custom dialog. But you cannot do all of them. I'm going to just show a few of them. Assume that you want to define your own rules, or you want to show the user only things that you want. Let me show you a simple one that I want to talk about. Like you want to show your own things in the own dialog. So you have to customize that custom dialog. Like a pop-up should have your own layout, not that layout of Android. You can place an image in the custom dialog. You can place anything in the custom dialog. For example, I'm going to show you how I can create a dialog of review. This is my review dialog here. Review dialog, okay. And a user can maybe submit a review on that particular using the what? Using the dialog. So here at first you'll have to create a dialog like the way we did at first. You will have to create a builder. Okay, so it will be dialog.builder. Just like the way you did. But the other one, this one, to customize the dialog, you see this one as a alert builder. But here, to customize the dialog, you don't use the alert builder, you use the main dialog. Okay, like you can see here, use the dialog class, not the alert builder class. Then after, we have to remove the title. Like we have to remove that title section from the dialog. And to remove it, you just simply say dialog.request window. Request window, and then you put here window no title. So here they'll create for you a window with no what? With no title. Okay, that is going to pop up. Just simply say the other dialog, this dialog that we've just created here. Dialog.request window. Request window feature, and then you put window. Okay. Window, and then here we'll have different Windows features. Window feature with a bar, window feature overlay, window feature, different window features that you can come here. But here I want a window feature with no what? With no title. Okay, So that should be an empty window feature without a title, and you do that at that step. Okay, so after that, what we're trying to create right now, we want to create a dialog which will have our own layout, not that layout which is showing yes, no, like this. Okay, so after that, I'll have to set the content. Okay, we have now to set the what, to set this dialog to have our own layout. Okay, so to do that, now we want to inflate a dialog. We want to inflate a layout within this dialog. So to do that, we just simply say dialog dot what dot set content view. So inside this view, instead of going to put a what, instead of going to put the layout that should appear in this dialog. So this one can be now r.id dot, and then you specify the layout. Okay, so this layout is not defined. For example, I can say dialog dot, assume that you want to ask the user to enter their names, the name using the dialog. Okay, without using the main window. You want the user to feed their name in the form inside the dialog. So here you define a what? You define a window. Or you want to display an image using the dialog. You want to display a pop-up. You know, sometimes when you try to view an image, they bring you a pop-up image, something like that, and they put that image inside the dialog. So here's where you do that. You define a what? A window that should appear in that dialog. Okay? So here I can just simply say, maybe I can say, how should I call this? Newsletter form, newsletter. So here you've seen those dialogues that ask you to enter your email, so that they should be sending you the newsletter. So I'm going to create that one like that. So I'll just press Alt and Enter, and then we'll have to create this this layout. Not ID, it is layout. It's not ID. R.layout, not .id, because we were setting the layout. So I'm going to create the layout. Just press Alt and Enter, and then press Enter. We'll be taken to a place where I create the layout. So this is nothing but a layout, like a normal layout that we always have. Just press here, and then we'll click on this. You see, it is a layout. This is just layout, like other layout that I always have. So I'm going to put here just a simple linear layout, and then I'm going to put maybe orientation, vertical, and maybe I'm going to give it background color red, put Android, maybe black. Yeah, it's a weird color, but let us do like that. So it can be a card, it can be anything. Now I want to put here some text, so it should be simply text view, and width, you can wrap content, put text, and say subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, then I can say text color and make them white, and then I can increase the size to maybe 25 dp, and I can say gravity. Okay, so let's do like that. Okay, subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, then I'm going to put here a form, edit, wrap content, and then I can put text, or I can put here maybe hint, enter your email here, and then I can make also color to be white. Okay, and then also increase the size to be maybe 20 dp. Okay, I don't know whether they will be visible. And then this is just for elaboration. Just put button, maybe. I cannot put a button with the wrap content, and then with having the text like subscribe. Okay, subscribe. I want when the user will click here, should be now able to subscribe. Now let me make this one gravity center. Everything should be centered. Okay, so I can put here maybe background color white, and can put so if the background color is white, then the text should not be white, and then can put maybe some padding of 10 dp or 14 dp, and then I can put also some margin of 10 dp. Okay, yeah, so that's a simple UI that I want to appear in the dialog. Okay, so after creating that dialog, maybe I can, okay, we'll listen to this later. So you see, I create the dialog, I request a window with no feature, and I set the content to have this subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, I put the wrong spelling, it's supposed to be E, but no problem. A letter, newsletter, not newsletter. So here you can set your dialog. Okay, another thing that I wanted to tell you, you can set your dialog either to be cancelable or not. To make a dialog cancelable, it means that the user will not allow to be cancelled. I mean, this dialog will not allow to be cancelled by a user. Dot set cancelable false. I'll explain this by elaborating. You'll see what I mean. So this cancelable, you can add it on any kind of dialog, even the alert dialog, that will work. Then after, we can set the window dimension by just using the window manager. You know, the windows will not be the equal. Every window, every phone screen has its own has its own window size. So you just simply say window manager .layout params, and then you initialize that variable. Time is over. But I will use the remaining time to just finish, because the time was elapsed during that era. When the computer slowed. So you set the window size, okay, by simply saying window manager dot params dot layout params. Okay, that's a LP or layout params is equal, and then you get the window size. Okay, this is how we get the window screen size. Okay, by just simply saying window manager dot window parameters. Okay, then to give you the window size. Then after, you have to set the dialog attributes. Okay, you want to copy the window size of the screen to be equal to to that of our dialog. Okay, so we just simply say LP, this variable that we initialize here, we say copy from, then we get this dialog, and we get the window of this dialog that we created, and then we get its attribute. So here what we're trying to do, we are trying to set the size of a screen that should appear on top of our main activity. Then after, we set its width and height. Okay, you don't need to memorize. You don't need to memorize this code, but you just need to know how it exists. So you set its width by just saying lp.width, then you get it from the window size of the wrap content, and also the height of wrap content. So by doing this one, you'll be setting the size of how our dialog should be. Then after that step, then you can now start finding the edit. You can now start finding the items inside the layout. For example, I want the user to be able to click on this so that we should be able to collect the email. Okay, But these ones are not in the main activity, remember. They're not in our main layout. So I'm going to show you how we can find them, because if you find them by using find view by ID, it will not work. Here we'll have to base on the main dialog to find these ones. So here I'm going to put maybe email, okay, and then here I'm going to put here maybe ID, btn, confirm, okay, or subscribe. Okay, so after let me say here input email. Okay, so after I have now to create these variables. Okay, so to create these variables, of course, this one, the first one is what? Is edit what? Edit text is equal to. Now here we are not going to use this find view by ID. No, if you do like this, it will crash. Why? Because this layout is not in our main layout. You have to base on this dialog that you create to find that one. So you simply say dialog dot find view by ID. Do you understand? Otherwise, if you don't put this, then it will do what? It will crash, because this one is going to be embedded in our window. So if you do just simply put find view by ID without putting dialog, it will do what? It will crash. So it's going to be r.id dot that one, okay, dot the ID. So here I will have the email input. Okay, then after doing that, we'll now have to find view by ID. Here, this one is optional, we don't need it. We now need to say to find also the what? We need to find the subscribe button. Okay, so how will I say find the subscribe button? You're just using the same technique, because it's also, but this button is a what? Is a button, is not a input layout. So after I find these two, I now need to do what? To set the click listener dot set on what? On click listener, new on click listener. So when someone will click on this button, you see this dialog, it's just a custom dialog. I'm defining it by my own rules. I want when someone will click on this button, I should collect this email, okay? So let me set here maybe some string, okay, of the email. It's got nothing for now. Then I want to collect the email, so I'll collect the email when someone clicks on this button, which will be this input that I found here, dot what? Dot get text. Members, I hope you're understanding. Okay, why is it crying? Just put email address, maybe I already used this. Okay, so just say email address. So are they saying, let me make it public. Change the email address to get text dot to string, eh? Yeah, get text dot to string. Okay, so after getting the email address, members, I hope you're following. I'll check if this email dot length is what? Is less than 2. Okay, so I can make a toast. I say enter correct email. Okay, so enter correct email, and then I can return in case the email is what? Is less than 2. Okay, so after doing that, so in case the email is correct, I'm going to create a toast. So there I'm going to create a toast that you enter this email. Okay, so toast, you entered email, and then I'll put the email itself, email address. Okay, so that's it. Now after, I want to close the what? The dialog, because I want to handle that logic of what? Of closing the dialog. So to close the dialog, I'll just simply say dot dismiss. Okay, dialog dot dismiss. But remember, we have not opened the what? The dialog. So to open the dialog, we have to put the again dot what? Dot show. and then you set the window attributes. So it will simply be so this one will come after the button, after setting these things or the layout. So dialog.show, this means it will remove the dialog and destroy it, and then after we set the dialog windows. Okay, dialog get window dot set attribute, and then we pass the attribute that we set here, the width and height. So that's how we create a what? A custom dialog. Now let us run it and we see. Okay, so there is our phone. So click on custom dialog. So just because you not put some enough padding, let me put here some padding. Padding, let me put some margin, maybe 20 dp. Let me put some, it should be padding. That should have some enough space between our content and the text. So I click on custom dialog, and then you have that beautiful UI. I can remove it. So you see, enter the what? Enter the email. When I click on subscribe, you see the toast, enter correct email. I click on subscribe, enter correct email. And then if I enter moves@gmail.com, and then I click on subscribe, you see, you entered. And we did that one on top of the main frame, on the main what? So you can design this dialog to become anything that you want. Okay? Subscribe to a newsletter, you can do anything, you can even put a video on top of it, you can put anything, you can put an image, you can just be creative and use it to do anything. So simple, subscribe, then you entered this email. So when you click on you entered email, then you can do other logic, maybe sending it to internet, saving it to anywhere, something like that. So another thing, you see, let me explain the meaning of cancelable and not cancelable. So you see, if I click on this email and I click on empty space, even if I click back, is it going? Can you see? Hadi, is Hadi there? Hadi, are you there? She's not there. Osna, can you see this? Like, I cannot go back. You see? Osna, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, but can you see what I'm trying to mean? Like, I cannot go back once the dialogue is what? Is shown. Do you see? Even if I click anywhere, it's not doing. So what makes that is this set cancelable. You see? So if you set cancelable to be false, any of your dialogue. Sometimes, for example, when you're processing something, you may not need the user to interfere. Assume that you're downloading a song. So if you don't want the user to, maybe the process is too long, you don't want the user to interfere because of he's not patient, so you may lock the screen by using set cancelable false. Assume that you're creating a bank application, and when the user clicks on send money or send, this request is supposed to be one request. Otherwise, if he clicks 2 times on the same button, then you will be doing what? You will be sending the money 2 times. So here, if you say the progress dialog, of course, there's also another dialog called progress dialog. Okay, it will be the last one. It is just a very simple one. So if you allow the user if you don't lock the screen, the user can click multiple times, and then this request will send it multiple times. And you see, he may send money 3 times, yet he was meaning only 1 time. So to avoid that, when you put the progress dialog or any kind of dialog, you can load the screen by using set cancelable false. Now let me set cancelable to be true. So you mean that the user cannot use the application until you do what? You allow him. You see, he cannot even go back until you allow that user to go back. So I run the application again.
You mean the when will the class finish?
When I finish, it will finish. So I click on custom dialog.
Okay, then I think we have
Now-
to leave because I have to things to do.
Yeah, you're free. So if you see, if I click on space, it is gone. I click on space, it's gone. I click on back, it's gone. And what makes that to be possible is what? Is the cancelable. Okay? Is the cancelable. So let me show you a very, very last one. It is just a simple, it's going to take like 2 minutes. It's called a progress dialog. Just 2 minutes. It is used, we use it when we are doing what? We are processing something. Just 2 minutes. So I'll just simply put here progress dialog. Okay. So this one will be show progress dialog. This one. So I'll come and create here the button, and then I'll come and find view by ID, and then I'm going to put here the click listener that someone should show progress, show progress dialog. We do this when we do what? When you are progressing something. It is very simple dialog. So to create it, we just say progress dialog like this. So I can say progress dialog is equal to new progress dialog. So here you pass the what? Pass the context, which is this, and then you initialize it. So to set it, you first set the title maybe, but setting the title is what? Is the optional. Okay? So you can say please wait. Now assume that you're processing something that you don't want the user to do anything in background until it is done. Then you can set this progress dialog to be cancelable or false. Like the way I told you, assume that you're creating a bank application and you want the user, when you click on the bank, when you click on send, you want him to click only one time. So you can click here, set cancelable false. So he will not cancel until you close this what? You close this progress. So you can put dot show. So you can process until you do what? You're done, and then you do what? You hide or you dismiss this dialog. So I'll open it to process. So you see, progress dialog, you see, that is the progress dialog. I think you've seen this one in Android phones. Sometimes it is on the left hand side, just depending on the Android version. You see, even if I click anywhere, you are processing something, you cannot do anything. Most of the, if you've ever been on WhatsApp until 2 a.m., WhatsApp always back up the messages at 2 a.m. at night. So if you're on WhatsApp, this progress dialog, you will see it. And WhatsApp will not allow you to do anything until the what? The progress is done. Maybe unless if you do what? If you close the application like this manually, then it will go. I think you've seen something like that with your what? With your WhatsApp. So it does not allow you to interfere until it finishes to back up your messages. Then it does what? It allows you to go ahead and use the application. So for today, we'll stop from here.